Okay. Ticket.
All right, we can call to order the meeting of Portage Township Board for February 17th, 2026. Quick roll call, Ryan Hill, present.
Muhammad present.
Cheryl Ashe present.
All right, and do approval of the agenda.
I motion we approve the agenda for the February 17th, 2026 meeting.
Seven.
All right, and all in favor, aye.
I,
Okay, and approval of the minutes for our board meeting, January 20th.
I don't have anything to say about it.
Make a motion that we pass 5 minutes from our January 20th board meeting.
I second that.
All right, and I'm in favor as well, so that's fine. Okay, and public comment, do we have anyone online?
You.
All right, not seeing anyone present here, we can go ahead and close public comment. So new business.
So first up here, we have, our annual report. It will be a resolution number 3. Okay, got added at the last minute. While Lana looks for it.
Is it?
Yeah,
Look for
that's it.
this.
Yeah, right, hopefully on, a little out of order on that because we got this late. So this is just a formality. We did our financial review at the Board of Finance meeting at the first meeting of the year. And this is the annual report that gets filed with the DLGF, which just notes everything that we noted in the financial report. It just has to be uploaded at the end of the month. So you already took action to approve it last time, but we just ask you to do it again to actually make it an official resolution. So that's all this one is here. You can, that has this one, you can take a peek at it.
I didn't make
Yeah,
that.
sorry. Lana just needs to upload this to the DLGF. It's a specific
How
format
about you?
for her. The annual
I
financial
did
report.
pretty fast. Oh, also the minutes too. So maybe while I'm,
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do we need to pass that?
Yeah, it's a resolution. It'll be resolution 3-2026.
I'll make a motion that we pass resolution 3-2026.
Do I have to find anything?
You will.
Okay.
Do I have this in here?
No,
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 keep
no,
passing it around.
Oh,
I just
okay.
printed it literally there.
We just got it
Financial, yeah.
hours before the meeting.
Sorry.
Steve Dalton. There's a motion, no second.
Right,
Get one of those.
have a look at it.
Oh, yeah. Feel free.
I get tired of holding it.
We'll get you one. Then we do this too.
What'd you get?
From us. These are in the closet. I don't
No,
remember.
no, they were expensive.
If I'll see if I can find one. Maybe not tonight, but I promise I'll get you one.
All right, so I'll second resolution 2026-03. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is the 2025 year in review. I'm gonna turn it over to Connor. Connor, went and put together all our data, what we did last year. We haven't gotten there yet. Okay. All our said we went out, I said we went out of it. Okay. So Connor put together all the data, all the assistance that we did last year along with Nourish. So he is put together a presentation for you guys to go through so you can see what we did last year. So Connor, turn it over to you.
Yeah, no problem. So all of this data came from our caseworkers, from the books that they've kept over the last year. And you will notice a pretty steep decline in the assistance that we provided this last year, which is in line with the budget cut that we experienced. So in total, for the last year, we spent around $295,381 in financial relief. Our highest month was the month of July, which actually broke the last 2 years, which was October, which saw the height of our poor relief. So that was, I think, around the time when that budget cut came in, Jason.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, the board, that is in line with the board decision to, we met, I think, an executive session and then an open session after the budget, numbers came through, or the revenue receipts is really what come through here. And then the decision was made to make certain cuts here. And so obviously reflected here. Now, we always had a bell curve. So it always went up, but then kind of back down, but
Right.
that's the steep decline there.
Yeah,
Okay, July,
yes.
was it any special reasons, or is that when?
That's when
That's
the
when I-
budget cut went through,
Okay.
so.
The circuit breaker receipts were about 40% of what we expected.
Right, but I mean, why is it higher?
So it's always high. June and July is when we increase. August was the first month of the cut. We
Okay.
Decided at the
So
July meeting.
that's why I understand why it
We
went
went all the
down.
way through the month of July as normal,
Mhm.
and the cut began in August.
Okay,
And so in total, we provided 144,000 less in financial
Okay.
relief than the year prior. So in terms of people that we assisted, we helped around 1,981 individuals. This is in line with last year, which we went just above 2,000, I believe.
Mhm.
However, one of the metrics we decided to track this year with the implementation of Swiped On was just how many people came in to see into our office for assistance, whether that was something that we couldn't help them with or like we could. We had actually 4,800 people that came in altogether. So, you know, less than half that we were actually able to assist, but.
Or they just came in twice, for
Yeah.
various things, and that doesn't include the pantry, because people don't sign in when they come to the pantry.
Quick question, what is swipe on?
That's when, if you've seen the iPad in the front.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Okay.
They come in, they sign in.
Okay,
So we're able
gotcha.
to track who's here and why they're here, we get
Okay.
their picture, we get their email.
Right, gotcha.
This is important also because the decisions that are being made downstate regarding township government, how they determine what you're doing is on your annual report that we file. And on that, we put how many people we provide assistance to, but one thing we weren't capturing is, well, just because we provide assistance to someone, other people come in here for other things, and so this bolsters those numbers to show like
Right,
a more accurate picture of how busy the office
right.
is.
Is there a way where you all say, we didn't give them assistance, but we told them to go to such and such a
Yeah,
place?
referrals is listed in the annual report.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
that's separate.
Well, it's included in the annual report.
Okay,
That's right. It's already in there. We do
Okay.
track that.
And then another question.
I could pull that anytime for you.
okay. So, but is it easily to see it?
Mhm.
Like, does it say so-and-so and
We file
referral?
what's called the TA7 every year, and it'll say referrals and a line on how many referrals. we make.
Okay, good,
Yep,
good, because that shows, um,
the work.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I can tell you that if you try to use 211, the system that's supposed to refer, that's run by the state, it's horrible.
Yeah. Understood.
And another question, so like when there's a eviction clinic, do those folks sign in?
No,
No.
good question. They do not. A good
So-
a good way, it would be good to add that kind of stuff in.
Yeah, and I think that's, to your point, it's illuminating the fact that there are other things people come in here that we aren't tracking.
The TA7 did include pantry numbers.
Yeah.
Lana added that
Okay.
in, just for
Yeah.
his reporting
Yeah.
here.
Well, it's really easy to do the eviction because they all have to fill out a
That's right,
form.
we should have.
So then, I know how many we
Good
did
catch.
last
We
time.
didn't add that in, we should do that next year.
Edward.
Eviction clinics, we should have
Okay.
tracked, the Christmas giveaway,
Okay.
Right,
well, we could have added that in, we might have done, that. We knew how many we gave away, but either way, good, that's a good point, well taken.
All right. So for zip codes, like the past 2 years, we serviced the 46628 zip code in greater capacity than any other zip codes in our township. That's just in line with past 2 years of data, so I mean, there's nothing wacky or nothing changed there really across the board. Applicant gender, female identifying residents remain the most likely to reach out for assistance for us. Again, I think it was around 78% last year. We're talking like a 1% difference in between female and male demographics. Applicant race, similar to the past 2 years of data, Black residents remain the most likely to seek assistance through our office. This also had like a 1% difference. I believe it was 74% African-American last year. And so the white population increased by 1% total for people that we helped. In terms of the last 30 days of income, we helped the most between $0 and $1,000. And then a total of $0 in the last 30 days of banking as well. That's some of the biggest ones for us.
the referral source,
Well, I think that's notable too.
Yeah.
Just let me touch on this a little bit. Again, these are people who are still approved.
And we'll get into referral for, sorry, that one kind of got out of our order. Yeah, I got to learn on there, but yeah, so word of referral source, word of mouth remains our strongest source when it comes to people seeking out assistance, friends, family, community leaders. 211 and 311 was the second biggest chunk. So around 25%, a fourth of the total overall referral comes from the 211, 311 services. And that was, I mean, very clearly in the caseworker book, it just says that. So that's why I lumped those two things together outside of just other area agencies, which was La Casa, St. Vincent, all sorts of other places that we get in the social service community. There was also, to be known, a 9% discrepancy here, which was reflected in a question mark. So when I was going through the books for the caseworkers, I asked our senior caseworker, Aaron, I was like, what does this question mark mean? It just means that when they came in for the intake procedure, they were not able to get the referral source at that moment in time. Life happens, like it got away from the intake clerk, what have you, but they just weren't able to get it. So there is a 9% discrepancy and answer not provided up there.
Staying on here a minute too, I think one thing for the future I'm looking at is our landlord referral there has actually gone down. It used to be higher, and 211 and 311 has gone up. I'd like to talk with those folks at some point and ask if they can track who's referring people to 211. Because I think landlords are saying call 211 and then 211 brings them here. And so it would be nice to work out with them if they can, because it's nice to know. It's nice to know where it's coming from. And that marketing actually, I like 5%. That's a nice little chunk. Yeah.
Yeah, the landlord number kind of surprises me, really.
Yeah, I think it's higher. That's why I'm getting at, like, talking to residents and applicants, I think it's higher. We haven't had any problems with landlords not referring people or not accepting our voucher. That just doesn't exist. So I think there's something else going on there.
So
I think we could try to think of other ways to get the word out, since family and friends are a big one. And later on, I want to talk about what we might be able to do at the dinner, because I've had several people, I had to send them to other townships, but they mentioned someone in their family or whatever.
Good point.
So of the nearly 2,000 households we assisted, over 40% of them were new to the assistance process, while 31% were reapplications after a lengthy time away, and 25% were continually returning applicants.
So the difference there being, if somebody comes they come in once, they're new. If they come in the second month, that's continuing.
Okay,
If they come in and we have a file on them already, it could be 6 months, a year,
Okay.
2 years, it's a reapply.
okay.
So that's nice. A lot of new folks for the year, like almost half.
So when it comes to the application result, however, so denials make up 47% of the overall application results. So when we look at the data from 2023, 2024, and 2025, in 2023, it was just over 20%. And then we began to implement that 2-day time limit to get your paperwork back in, which in 2024 rose it to 42%. And then last year it raised yet again 5% to 47% overall.
So it's what, you have 2 days to get your papers back in?
Or call us and tell us why you can't. And
And we'll
sometimes they
extend it.
do, and sometimes they do, and it's no problem. They're always granted an extension. It's
Are
just,
we letting them know when we give them the application that if they can't get back to us within 2 days, to make sure you call?
yeah, and they do.
And I've heard, and I've
We get
heard
lots
them
of
say it
calls.
too. besides,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get lots of calls, like, shit happens, stuff came up, couldn't get away from.
Let's go back really quick to
Yeah.
application type. There's one other number that would be useful here. How many people that came through and received help and didn't come back? Didn't need to come back, right? Like they got what they
Yeah.
needed
Everyone
and,
can
Like they only did
reapply
it
with it.
once.
yeah.
Or I mean,
You mean
continue.
they never came back again?
Like they received that assistance and have gone on to, I guess, flourish in another.
Right. The idea is hopefully people that were able to get help when they needed it, but not,
I'm trying to think of how would we.
I think one thing that would be helpful is, okay,
If they're new, they're new, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
is like, how much
Continuing
time, okay, like the reapply,
How much time? is
Success
that?
stories is what
yeah,
I'm.
well,
kinda
what, are we
looking
talking
at.
about a year? Are we talking about
93%.
He's right, it would be interesting.
6 months?
I actually don't know. Do you know the actual time when?
Well, usually within 6 months is a continuing aid form.
And then, no, at 6 months,
It becomes a reapplication.
We have to
every
reapply.
application,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, continuing
Okay.
aid is 6.
Okay.
After 6 months, they have to do a new application.
They have to reapply.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I
that,
think,
It's not
Go ahead.
continuing, it's reapply. I don't know if you would. Yeah, how would we know?
I mean, if you have so many that are
You'd have to keep a
reapplications and so many that are new, you look at how many were applied in the last year or so and kind of try to parse out the numbers. So it's an idea.
I think what you would
to
do
look
is take the continuing and the new, add that together and subtract reapply, and here's why.
Mhm.
The continuing, a crisis lasts more than a month.
at. Right,
So they're gonna come in, they come in maybe 2, 3 months in a row, and then they don't come back. The reapply, obviously, when they come back, it's been 6 months and they're reapplying, so I would think you haven't seen, you add those two and subtract the other one, those are people that never came back the rest of the year,
the,
roughly.
okay, can you give me an example? Like, okay, I can think of a continuing person would be someone who lost their job.
Mhm.
And so they've got to come back, say, 2 or 3 months in a row until they finally get their first paycheck.
How I describe it is, I think it's difficult to get denied your first application.
Right,
The caseworkers are very,
Lenient.
lenient, that's the right word, they're very lenient. You haven't filed for child support, no problem, we're not gonna deny you for that, they're gonna tell you need to file for child support. You come back in the next month, if you haven't filed for child support, they might still let it go another month. If you come in the third month, and if that's the only thing and you haven't, you might be, like, we need a good story, why you're not, and so that would be the scenario. But it's very hard, it has to be very blatant.
right.
Even over income, you don't really get denied. I mean, if you're over income, this is your third or fourth application, and now we can't keep your over income already. But even over income does not get denied the first time out.
Right, and I
Usually there's a
personally am
story.
working with someone right now. They're not in our township, but that's the issue. They lost their job and of course their income was their expenses were based upon
Mhm.
how much money they're making. They're making
Right.
$24 an hour. Now they're down
It's
to
probably
50.
every scenario, just because
Yeah,
sometimes they just takes them a few months to get caught up. I mean, even if
Yeah.
they're not, even if they have a job.
Sometimes actually they might have a crisis, like a car goes down or something like that.
Yeah,
Knocks you off your feet for a minute.
well, I mean, with the 47% denial rate, is that for completed applications?
no, that's what's important there, is that it would be more like 25% or less are denied if you did not count the incomplete application. And because it was being done, if you recall, I think that the process before was incorrect in that before, they would come in and just say, don't sign the application, but bring us all these documents back. And when you bring them all back, then you sign the application and we go through it all. And as you recall, these would sit out there for weeks and weeks
yeah,
and weeks.
yeah,
Why we did away with that was, technically speaking, we're not supposed to ask anything or get into your life at all until you've signed that consent. And when we traveled around the state, we saw that all the other townships were doing it that way, so that's why we changed it to. But to be lenient, knowing that we have now the clock is running to provide you a decision on this, so we say, bring your stuff back within 2 days. And if you don't, call us and tell us why.
Mhm.
And like I said, they do that frequently, but that's why we changed that process.
On the back page.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's why that back page is important.
So similar to 2020, or sorry, no.
Oh, no, that's all right. I was just gonna say that.
Would it be possible to call, a random number of people who didn't complete the application and find out why? I mean, I'd be happy to come in and call.
Yeah, if you want to. Ryan talked about that before, and it's just,
I feel like cool.
they're not super cooperative when they get calls from this office.
Yeah,
Unless
if they
they're
didn't fill out
expecting
the
a call.
application, they probably don't. If they didn't complete it, they probably.
And I've got good examples of this. When Sheriff Redmond has turkeys, he says, actually, this will make you, I've never told you guys this story. Sheriff Redmond does this for several townships. I don't know if all of them, but he offers 20 turkeys for every township, maybe several of them. I don't know how many. They all said no. So he gave them all to us. All the townships said no. They didn't want, German, I think, Jen up there did, but, so he gave them all to us. But anyway, long story short, it's rough. It's rough when we call.
Mhm.
Some of them get angry. What do you want? They're not happy. And we're calling it, it changes when we're like, well, we're here to call it, give you a turkey. But
Then they're in love with you.
well, yeah, or they just accept it. Yeah. But no, sometimes they're angry. Why are you calling? Or don't answer, they think you want something, But we can, it'll be a tough little assignment.
I'm willing to try, because
I think it'd be appropriate for you to do, yeah. Or, I think it would need to be somebody within the office that does that,
Right.
yeah,
yeah,
or the board.
I'll set it up with you. I'm just curious on if I need help and then all of a sudden I don't need help.
Mhm.
I think they'd be more interested in hearing from you than, you know, me or Jason, right? Like, I don't know, I just think you work in the space enough that you
You
know.
let us know when you're ready to do that, and here's what we'll do. We will wait till we get a little busier,
Mhm,
and what we'll do is, we call them NAs. When they don't come back, they still go in the system.
mhm.
We will hold on to several. We'll hold on to like a packet of 10 or 20 of them, and
Right.
we won't enter them yet, because if you call someone and they're like, oh yeah, I want to get down there and do it, then they can still come in and do it. We haven't put them in the system, but it'll be interesting to see what you find out.
Yeah.
I imagine, if I had to get, what would you guess? They don't want to provide the documents.
They don't, or it's, I feel like sometimes
There's
it's,
something there they don't want us to know.
or there's a huge crisis and they're in that moment just trying to get their electric on.
And they
And
figure it
it's not that we're unreasonable in what paperwork
No,
we need or anything
no.
like that. But it's like in this moment, so then they're just gonna go find a
Right.
cousin
And someone
or
will
friend
figure it out.
who'll lend them $300 on the
Agreed.
spot.
Right, I was gonna
It's
say,
either they don't, there's something they
Yeah.
don't want to turn over to us, or
Yeah.
they figure it out, and I don't. need
okay,
to-
here's the two things I think it is. One is they find someone to help them out. You know, they're hitting every place they
Right.
can.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Right.
The other one is they don't want to do the child support. I think we're gonna find that,
Well, I think we've talked about that, though. The child support issue is something that, like,
because they're
all-
already getting money from the dad,
It's a tough one.
and they don't wanna
Yeah.
go
It's a tough
on record
conversation.
saying that.
I put myself on child support for that very reason.
Did you?
Mhm.
Yeah, I always joke that I'm on a baby daddy crusade in this
Uh-huh.
office sometimes,
You
because
put yourself in child
some
support.
of these guys get away with a lot.
Yes, yes.
Because she didn't want me to take Abby out of town, and it was like, if you try to take her out of town, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I was like, I can't play that game.
I think it's the safest way to document,
Yeah.
the child support.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the, we're not trying to be like a block,
well, and it's
but
very dangerous for the person that's supposed to be paying child support if they're doing it under.
well, because it will be then if they get, they have a good relationship. And then the minute they don't, and she
Yeah.
decides to go down and file and she says, he hasn't paid me in 5, 6
It's
years.
nice to, yeah.
But he has.
Every once a month, he shows up with diapers and milk.
Yeah.
And,
But
yeah,
she
no,
can always
he helps
go,
me out when he can. It's like, okay, well, that was
Right.
$50.
It's
Or
true.
they're gonna ask where the receipts.
Well, they don't. It's just,
it would be thrown out
they
of court
appreciate what
anyways.
they get.
If they said,
Yeah.
well, I've been giving her or paying for this or paying the daycare for, or whatever, if they don't have some concrete, solid,
I
like,
told you my
direct
tax
path.
return stories.
Mhm.
Yes,
They'll come in and say, well, no, but
judge will say,
lets me
sorry.
keep his half of the
Mhm.
tax check.
right.
So I'm very big on telling them, if the child doesn't live with you, he's not, that's your tax return. He's not, just because that's his DNA does not give him the right to have your
The
tax
tax
return.
return.
If
And
you're
a
the
lot of
one
these
raising the
guys will
child.
Convince these women of that.
Yeah, the
It bothers
problem,
me.
the major problem is the courts say one thing that, oh, you can claim every other year.
Yes.
But if you look at what the Internal Revenue Law says,
They're her dependent. They're staying at home.
they're her dependent.
I agree. I agree.
Unless he's
Full stop.
paying,
If he's
more
living
than
there and paying,
50%.
then yeah, he gets, but he doesn't get to claim that.
no.
No,
Sometimes they do it anyways, and I'll just leave it that side.
They don't know.
And they're not even there. They race to the IRS first and then there's a huge mess.
Mhm.
So I'll leave it at that too.
Similar to the-
But I just would wanna do that.
no, I think it'll be a good experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So similar,
And I'll get my, hi, I'm Cheryl Ashe. I'm on the board and we just wanna know why you didn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
So we could help you.
Mhm. I'll have a plaque made for you and everything, Sharon, on your desk.
so like, the previous year, the primary denial reason for applicants remains the failure to complete the application after
Right.
they were given the 48 hours to complete the paperwork, which, I mean, that was same for last year, and then as well as over income and then wasted resources, which was determined through caseworker
The
verification.
over income, like I said, tends to be when we're helping you out, we've already helped you out a few times, you're making enough money, you need to make some changes on what
Right.
you're doing.
And then the wasted sufficient resources, I mean, that's just up to the caseworker to decide, hey, I've looked through your banking information the last 30 days. We've determined that you've not used these appropriately to pay these bills.
Yeah, that's usually pretty egregious.
Do you know what the primary waste of resources is? Is there one that stands out?
No, because it changes based on what the caseworker puts into the actual spreadsheet itself. I've just used that as a blanket term. I mean, it could be anything from.
Cable TV.
Yeah, Well, it's not
No,
necessarily
we wouldn't do
cable.
that.
No, we wouldn't judge it, no.
Went to Vegas last week.
Went to Vegas, gambled
No,
$600.
no, that's-
on
Yeah,
sports.
gambling, those
I
are,
mean,
like, if you wanna talk egregious,
Yeah,
but then
yeah,
it does,
Comcast, no, I'm not.
it does pare down to a lot of trips to the liquor store.
Do
Or,
they actually have
The
those
casino.
receipts that they give
well,
you?
we see it in the bank.
Sometimes
statement.
they don't realize that
Oh,
they
the bank
need to
statement,
withdraw
swipe
at the
the
forward.
card.
Can't
You
get
know what
away
I mean?
Through the-
Then,
ATM withdrawal at the
sending
forward.
money to jail, like, that's a
Mhm.
big, like, we have to,
Yeah. we're not-
Right.
we're not gonna- you can have
that's a
cable
big
TV.
one. What else is there? Or it's just, sometimes they just have the money and they just, went and,
I will say wasted sufficient resources is also a caseworker code too, which gets put into the book. So when it all comes up, I mean, you really just see a code that stands for that. So
right, but so Aaron would also say, like, sometimes people are sufficiently resourced.
Yeah.
Meaning, you're getting Section 8, you're on food stamp, you're getting all these things. You've got a lot of support. There's no reason why you as a single person or you as
Which what do
are
you
not
do
able
have?
to do this.
Mhm.
Like, that's sometimes that's what they're referring to
Yeah.
there too.
Okay.
That's interesting,
Sufficiently resourced.
that people will swipe at the liquor store.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or the foremans.
Yeah.
Or the foremen.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I do
The
too.
Vegas one I'll never forget because
Oh, yeah.
the mother called us and furious and she said, I paid for that trip, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, well, you should have paid her electric bill. She was a young girl, we were like, it's like $1,000 in Vegas last week.
Yeah,
We're like,
it's 100%.
it's like, how can I justify that? She was real mad.
and then I believe that is all when it comes to.
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Connor, you did an excellent job
Yeah,
putting that all
thank
together.
you.
It's not easy because it's all manual.
Right.
It's captured manually by the caseworkers in Excel spreadsheets that Ryan helped us develop, so.
Well, thank you for that. The spreadsheets definitely helps compiling the data later on.
Well, yeah, and that's why he has to kind of parcel it out,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I forgot I did that.
Yeah. It's nice, it's useful.
Sitting there thinking like,
Mhm.
I'd still like to figure out a way to be able to zoom in further than the zip code.
Oh, yeah, street address, yeah. we-
Neighborhoods,
street
like the
address,
neighborhoods.
Well, one way,
I don't know about street address. I don't know about that.
well,
Well, not for public, not for publication, but to
He
think
was like a
about,
heat map.
yeah, a heat map to look at resource targeting, right? If we wanted to, we see a bunch of people coming from this neighborhood, try to, like we were talking about the Nourish truck and things like that,
or even, are there
Yeah.
certain apartment complexes?
Yeah,
that you get-
apartment complexes
that-
or,
Show up a lot.
and then we could just do something in that neighborhood, right? Like get out there and then, but also the neighborhoods that don't, that probably should be and aren't showing up on there, right?
Well, I think one thing you would need to do if you wanna target neighborhoods like that is you have to track how many people actually own a home there, right? Because if this person is a renter
Mhm.
and they use your assistance 1 month and they moved out, then your address doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but like these, poverty does tend to collect in areas, right? So even if one person has moved out,
Yeah.
there's a reasonable chance there's other neighbors nearby that are struggling, right? That is an issue with a lot of renter housing, which we have in the city, but just the nature of how landlords work, they're going to probably bring someone similar in,
And we'll
So-
talk about that later.
Yeah, I mean, a heat map would be an interesting thing. That would be something that you could even go to that like monthly thing they do at the, I forget what it's called, where they share all the different services going on in town and.
Is that Mary McAfee?
Is it hers? Oh, it was over at like the Innovation Center or whatever. in the
Oh,
past,
yeah, I think that is. Oh, yes.
Yeah, and that would be an interesting thing. Again, like using the data we collect to share with other partners so that they can target resources in some of the areas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, a heat
That's-
map's totally doable. If I get the addresses, that's something that I can easily put together every time.
And then-
It's just, that's something that you guys want me to do.
If it's people that come in here and apply for assistance.
Right.
It's as simple as that, yes. If it's, these people need electric, these people, that's gonna get a little more nuanced. But maybe, I don't know, what's like, maybe
Yeah, I don't know. Addresses, that's an easy thing to do. I don't know about,
spreadsheets.
yeah, discerning between what type of assistance. That would just be a,
He has a presentation on Nourish as well.
Okay.
yes, I do have I didn't mean to print something off, but I caught a typo in it. I can get you guys a digital version, and then if you guys want another printed off copy.
I told him you would never forget him.
Deeply offended.
I said Ryan is really gonna have a problem with this.
All right, well, in total for 2025, our Nourish program impacted a total of 133 households with an estimated individual count of 338. So this year, we did ask how many people were actually in your household, so we can say, well, sure, we taught 133 individuals, but then they took those skills to go on and then impact potentially up to 340 people. So the actual review form is comprised of nearly 250 submitted by participants throughout the year. When we look at where they heard from Nourish, 41% said word of mouth. Again, that's in line with our township assistants. 22% said social media, 7% said TV marketing, which, you know, WSPT will never use you again, but hey, that was paid for through our grant this past year. So it was, you know, they're salespeople. They always try to convince me that it's gonna hit bigger, but it wasn't the case when it came to our feedback. Email marketing was 13.4%.
What kind of marketing, say it again?
Email.
Email.
Yep, that's through like our newsletter, different different parts of just blasts that we.
And
do
that's
for
important
MailChimp.
because the newsletter is not cheap to maintain.
Right.
Our monthly bill on just managing that is a few $100s, just so you
Oh,
know.
wow.
Yeah, it's not cheap because it's such a big list.
Yeah,
30,000,
yeah.
Is it 40,000?
It's 30,000.
30,000.
That's the open
And
rate.
how much is it again a month?
His open rate is
At least,
excellent.
at least three.
Well, you remember.
Almost $3,000 a year, yeah.
So the opening rate, I actually don't know, but the cost of it or the opening rate, I
I
don't know.
can look it up right now because it blew my.
Well, if we're going to,
$340 a month.
if we're going to, you
I
said
do it every-
30,
No, the open rate. He's asking.
30,000 a household.
Yes, within our township.
Oh.
Right, well, I think that's right, because, you know, I think, you know, we have people who heavily use our service who are lower income.
Hmm.
But then some of those people who get the newsletter are social workers, or I think.
Oh, that's right. No, I will
Agreed.
just say the email, I only say this because that's been one of the best way, like the feedback we get about the newsletters he does. the
Yeah.
stuff We send out, this thing is huge.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, I know a lady who's over at teaches at, what do you call it? Ivy Tech, and she's always talking about things she passes on to her students that she sees in the newsletter.
Mhm. Well, that's good. That's what it's there for. I mean, I try to make sure that we're always hitting the developments from the township.
Yeah, I
different
mean, he's
opportunities for social
15%.
services,
All these newsletters, 50%.
Or
which gonna increase once we get the subdomain fixed. A lot of what
Yeah.
MailChimp was hitting was the fact that we don't have a verified domain through MailChimp.
Oh.
The state actually owns all of the domains that have like the .in, .gov account. So I've been working with the state to get that amended. It's just been a process. I've
But
just
for
submitted.
I mean, essentially spam. I mean, all
Yeah.
these people signed up. I was like, 15% is actually pretty good.
Yeah, but so I expect that number to skyrocket once the state approves. Our
It wasn't both.
our Department of Technology approves that, yeah.
And I think it's also important because, let's be honest, middle-class people tend to vote more than the lower-income people. And therefore, it helps prove that we're doing things to middle-class people who vote.
Agreed.
Yeah, okay. Well, we gotta move on, though. I think we're running
Yeah.
a little long here.
Sorry, I'll speed through this guy. So registrant age, same as last year, 60 to 69 is our biggest demographic. We still have a good, strong 20 to 29, early young adult is still, people want to learn how to cook. I think it's becoming more and more prevalent, especially as, I mean, it just becomes more expensive to live and people are looking to cut that cost back any way they can. Our biggest zip code, again, 46628, saw the largest chunk of Nourish registrants, 46619 following that, and 46615 after that. All right, for our financial summary, so Nourish on average costs around $338, and that includes our $100 chef stipend that we offer our educators every week. Just looking at grocery cost alone, it was around $241 on average, which we set around a limit of 250 per class this year. So we were still able to go underneath of that every week. I mean, this is an average. Some weeks it was more, some weeks it was less, but we were still kind of on the mark for that. And then in total expenditure, it was around $7,095 for all of this year's purchases. That did not include reimbursements from the St. Joseph County Health Department for our items like disposable plates.
But that was just for the food and the chef.
Yeah.
That wasn't for anything, okay.
Yeah.
But do you rent, you don't rent these spots, they allow you just to use them, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're in a verbal agreement. I've talked with
Good
Alex
question.
about getting something more written up about our community partners we go to. So when it came to public feedback, again, we received nothing less than a 3 on all of these, which it was rated 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. Again, it was hard to get any kind of negative feedback when you're literally feeding people. So, I mean, granted, we ask when they're getting the bag of food, we have them fill out the review form, so that probably
We
has
also
something
get
to
a
do.
prize at the end of the.
Yeah. So again, likelihood of repeat attendance, 97% of people said they'd come back.
Crazy.
93% said they'd tell or bring a friend, which actually went down a couple of percents from last year. I think it was around 95, so we did go down 2% in the bring or tell a friend.
Not enough seats. They don't want to share.
Maybe.
If it's not gonna be really horribly, yeah, I don't know.
That's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you let it go? All right. All right. Oh.
Okay.
My internet, that's it.
This is our end of the year party. We had people come out for.
We did trivia.
Yeah, the year before we did bingo, but someone stole our bingo kit, so. That didn't happen again this year.
Donna wouldn't let us get in
I would have loaned it out to begin with.
It was me who was like, no, we're not doing it again, trust me.
there. My cousin started going almost every week.
Yeah.
Well, I see a lot of people from church in the videos or the pictures. Speaking about
It's a great
4 or
group.
5
I
people
go
in my
to several
church.
of them. They were fun.
Yeah, it was a good group. I think that this year, I mean, we did hit more households than we did the previous year. So in 2024, it was 120. This past year is 133. But again, one of the things we were working with the county health department was trying to hit new households. How many people, how can we get this out to more and more people?
Right.
And we settled on a kind of a caveat for the Nourish program of saying, well, you can sign up for 5 of these classes a semester, which there's 10 in the summer, 10 in the fall. And then you can sign up per semester, but that kind of limits the amount because we have so many return people, which is great. We're building community, but it's also how can we be as effective as possible with what we're doing? So
So you're kind of gonna limit how
Just-
many people, how many classes you can go to.
yeah,
That makes sense.
you can select what ones interest you up to
Right.
5, but trying to limit that just because we're really trying to prioritize how many new people we can hit and really get that number up this coming
Okay.
year. But yeah, that
Or
is
you got to find more money.
You know, I just gonna write that down.
true.
Don't worry, we'll talk.
All right, any other questions for Connor?
No.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Great job.
Probably will.
Really great. All
I'm
right.
gonna hold it against you for not having printouts.
Okay.
Somebody
saved it.
Thank you, yes, yeah,
Saved us some dough, because these are color printouts.
yeah. You can get the digital for Mr. Hill.
All right, so let's see, that was the year in
Yeah,
review.
we're at resolution 226. Done this already before, but this evening, the county commissioners are having their meeting where they are adopting the same resolution. And 2 years later, we are finally arrived to the moment where they're transferring Portage Manor Cemetery to us. So we've done this already, actually, because we thought they were transferring it to us a while
Hold
ago,
on,
but Alex thought it was a good idea to all do it at the same time again, to make sure that all our T's are crossed. So
And I's and dotted.
that's what this resolution is doing. We will fully be in charge, responsible for.
How much is this costing us?
Tonight?
Well, they'll quick deed it over.
Okay.
Yeah, how much is this gonna cost us?
To maintain?
To mow,
Yeah, and maintain and,
mainly it's mowing right now. If we don't, we have it in our budget. In fact, let's see what we budgeted. It's in here. We budgeted,
So we need
now this is
to,
the second cemetery we have. We've got another one. But we haven't been having to maintain that one yet.
Mm-mm.
The church next door has been doing it for us. First, cemeteries cost $2,500 a year.
how much?
$2,500 a year
Okay, that's
is what we
not
budgeted.
I don't know.
To mow, yeah, I mean, if we put in a fence or something like that, the
Well,
county.
we have our facilities person. Are they also,
Mowing.
Well, no, because we don't have a place to put the mower,
Oh, that's
but
right.
yes, he will be responsible for ensuring it's done.
okay.
Well, I just think it's very sad that when
Before we
they
get 'em-
sold all of that
Gotta go.
stuff. I just think it's
They're
sad.
gonna kick us a little bit of money.
Okay,
But it's not that money, you're right.
I just was saying it was sad when they sold all the property at Portage, that the money went someplace else. I feel it should have come to maintain the cemetery,
At least
and
some
that's
of it.
sad.
At least some of it.
Yeah, I think that's sad.
So this is lot 6 out of the plot.
Under the, hold on, he's looking at, the right of entry agreement.
Right.
That's what it looks like.
Where did-
Like, this one that you needed to look for,
Oh my gosh, no.
Oh, I have a question.
Wait, what is-
On the cemeteries,
right of entry.
is there,
So lot 6 is down here.
Yeah, it's down there.
on the cemeteries, is like, if someone said, well, my relative is buried, I think in Portage Manor, do we have a list of names who's buried there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a website and I can send it to you,
It's right there.
that
Right.
shows about the approximate location where everybody is. We
This
have
is
that.
Riverside, so I've been figuring that.
So-
Will we get that for the new cemetery we're gonna inherit too?
We do, yeah, we got a list on that one as well. That one has
The,
headstones,
Okay.
yeah.
The wastewater treatment is very secure. And so
The
that has to
ballpark?
be
I can
that-
take you out there, Ryan, sometime.
this street.
Well, I mean, I'm just checking because, the easement.
That's what we
agreement
actually
here-
stalled on a little bit is Alex and I pushed for that easement to be included so that we always have access to it because there's no road that leads to it.
Right, that's what I was trying to figure out.
No, there's no road that leads to it.
You have to either come, well, you can't come into Portage Manor, right? You gotta go the back way.
Yeah, you go around the area. I have.
Just egress on the
Oh.
premises
Where you
to.
go for, is that Riverside?
Road.
Oh, what's the other one, Riverside? What's the other one, the back way?
Yeah.
That takes you behind the, yeah,
Is this giving a specific route of access or just any access to lot 6?
It's just giving us the easement, right of entry through both easements. The easement that exists in front of, like, if you wanted to get to it off of Portage, see that little road, see the dotted line there?
Yeah,
That's the easement, that road right there from
Okay.
Portage. Gives us the right to get back there from there. And then it's all city property, it's all county property on the other direction, so obviously we can go through that.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, Lana, let's make a pile of things,
I know.
go to the bank tomorrow and have
Yep.
them notarized.
I know.
Yeah, that's Bowling Street.
Now, this doesn't include any of that property that,
No.
Dieter wanted us to look at.
Nope.
Okay, good.
None of the woods, none of that
Good.
stuff. He's at the meeting tonight, raising hell with the appropriate people.
All right, so when y'all go out there, I wanna go out there.
Let me know when you wanna go.
Have a picnic,
Yeah, that's fine with me.
it's warm.
Put this, as long as the snow's gone.
Let me know when you
this
go.
is-
and
This
I'll-
is not that, this is the actual resolution,
Okay.
that they're your.
All right, so I don't think we had a final vote on the resolution, so just for record, I think
I
you.
make a motion that we pass resolution 02/2026.
Mhm.
I second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Okay. Alrighty, I lost my agenda.
All right, budget assistance review.
Road business,
Oh, oops.
okay.
Yeah, budget, you have the budget there.
Have we got any response from DLGF?
I just had one question.
What do you mean? We're not waiting on them for anything right now, but along your point there, we won't know what the effective circuit breaker will be until the circuit breaker report comes out in March or April. So, we feel at this time to remain conservative because we don't technically know what our receipts are going to be.
Okay. Question I have, 20,000 on clothes. Does that mean we're hoping this year to do the
Correct.
coats?
We believe we can do it this year, yes.
Okay. And also school uniforms?
Yes, that's right. So I was actually getting those donated anyway. Getting a donation for those, but we feel maybe in March or April, certainly by May, we will have a clear picture of what our receipts will be for this year and the possibility exists that we could double some of these budgeted amounts.
Okay,
Particularly electric and shelter.
okay.
I think that would be our goal, is to do
Mhm,
another 50 in electric and another 100 in shelter.
mhm.
But we won't know until we get that certified.
On the food pantry, are we at a point where we can give out, like, do we have a refrigerator? If they had meat, we could give it out?
Yeah,
Mhm.
a refrigerator and a stand-up freezer.
Mhm,
Okay,
Real nice ones, industrial.
okay.
That's how we stored the hams.
mhm. So if we did fall into that, or sometimes eggs or, you know, milk or.
Right.
Gave out eggs today.
Oh, did- yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Anything of note on the,
Let me see if I think they didn't have any
This
other.
is only 1 month.
yeah,
Event supplies, that would have been like the Christmas stuff we did, or,
More like the eviction ceiling clinic.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
all right.
Then facilities, so you guys got my email today that, regarding the eminent domain case in the city of South Bend. The judge in Plymouth has, ruled against our objections to the taking. So we are, got on everybody's calendar to have an executive session to talk about what the
Right.
board wants to do as far as the next steps go. And in initial, I got it, I had like 5 minutes to look it over, and I had a conversation with Alex quickly about it, but, him and Jim Masters are very adamant that the judge got a lot of facts incorrect, just,
Yeah,
and I know that a lawyer is gonna say that.
No,
anyway,
no,
but
no, no, I
it-
went,
I know that you did.
and I
Going
didn't
along with what she
understand,
said.
she did not
Actually, it's
understand.
funny you say that, because those are the exact words that they used. It doesn't seem like she understood the actual details here, so, but either way,
Any damn sense.
so the board can decide what the next steps are from there. I've asked Jim and Al folks to come to that meeting, and you guys make a decision on what you wanna do there, but, nothing needs to be done today. It sits there. We have 60 days,
Okay,
if appeal is to be filed, and then Cheryl can talk through all those particulars. So then the, Warren Township breach of agreement, so you guys are on the email there for many months. So the creation of the fire territory resulted in an increase in income tax being received by both townships. The interlocal agreement stipulates that that money will be spent on the territory for territory expenses. For the last 8 months, every conversation we've had has been about using the word transfer, just simply transferring those funds into the fire territory operations account. It's budgeted in the fire territory operations account. No objections have been raised by anyone in any of those conversations until I could not get a straight answer on how they were gonna start transferring the money, because we just transferred it all right away. Portage Township, our portion was like $17,000.
Mhm.
We just did the whole thing right away. It's a significant portion for Warren. It's over 200,000. So we said, if you don't have that laying around, we understand, just do monthly transfers, because you received this money monthly. No, they didn't get a straight answer, so we started invoicing them, and that's when their lawyer reached out to our lawyer and said, we're not doing this, and said, we want to do it this way and this way and this way, which at first he said, well, is there an ambulance or fire engines that we need that our board will review and decide if we're gonna spend that? And I said, no, this is for salaries. Like this, we have a very thin budget. This is not a fat budget. Like, without this money, we go into the red. And I don't think the cash is there to support it. Like, there's just not cash reserves. And I'm explaining this to them. I'm explaining that Portage Township, I feel like we've been a good partner. We bought a lot of equipment, we go and get loans. We got a $2.5 million loan on the backs of our taxpayers to float, this. So, you guys got my email that this doesn't work for us, for a lot of reasons. It just doesn't make any sense
who
for,
owns the ambulance?
we do. Portage Township, it's Portage
Owns the
Township,
ambulance.
yeah. So,
Who, wait,
I'm sorry.
so the fire trucks, we own some already, right?
We do own some, we jointly own others, and Warren Township owns some.
Okay.
I mean, all of that's irrelevant. There is a agreement in place. That agreement has not been revoked.
Well, see, I'm gonna tell you, I'm for
I don't
quitting with them.
I don't
If you
understand.
can't trust
No.
them,
It seems like the board, Ryan can.
sue them for the money and then quit them.
The board, it seems like this is the trustee,
Right.
and not the board.
And I want to support the board members.
I
They
did send
voted
I
for
did
this.
send a message to one of the board, I did not, I asked for a response from them by last Friday and did not get it. And I texted Emily and I did not get a response from her, and so we're in a situation now where what do you want to do? Because we are going cash negative now every month, do we? And I'll bring up the territory meeting, and Ryan, maybe you can help me carry the water on this, cause I'm really just the guy cutting the checks. In this situation, you know, and
I'm sorry, the current trustee is unelected. And he is trying to trash something that an elected trustee and elected board put together.
my concern is along Ryan's vein, we are at a moment where when we put this together, a lot of eyebrows were raised by other
Mhm.
townships.
Mhm.
And we got a lot of grief. And now they're all looking at us like, oh, they were right. You know, like everything's going well. Our residents are happy. The firemen are very happy. I mean, Sam is over there if you've got questions of her on any of that stuff. So for me, this is not putting our best foot forward when we're at a time when those folks are looking to us for leadership. It could not come at a worse time.
Especially with the county announcing what they're doing
That's my
with
point.
Yeah, the
the
ambulance, I know.
ambulances. Like, this needs to work and there is an agreement in place that needs to be abided by. Right, and that's,
And how do you make them abide it?
well,
Sue them?
I mean, that may be a case, or we
That is
have the board
reliable.
take action.
That is an option, dissolving the territory, like.
I guess my problem is, here's what my problem is. Their board knows that they're supposed to come forth with the money. I'm sure it's been told. I'm sure their attorney came forth and said, oh, well, don't do this, this, and this, and their board is backing it.
No, their board is, so they met last week, I believe. And from what I understand, it was quite contentious. Their board is trying to figure out what to do. And I'm gonna call, I need to call a couple of them and as well and talk to them,
But
but
then we need to give them a deadline.
I wouldn't mind to see you guys weigh in
Yeah.
on this.
I wanna wait and give them the chance to, because the township boards are meant to be oversight, right, to some degree. And to prevent situations like this. Now, I mean, my understanding of how the law is written is once the budget is passed, the trustee does have a lot of
Right.
ability to do
Right.
what they want to do, but this is also subject to an agreement, I don't remember what it's called, interlocal
Yeah.
agreement, that was passed by the board and signed by the elected trustee at the time.
Okay, so my
So we
question,
need to work with them and give them a chance to do
okay,
their
how
thing.
long? How long? I want a deadline.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna.
Then I
don't
think we need
it's
to take a
that
vote.
easy.
Do we give them a deadline or not?
Mohammed, what do you think?
See, it was a lot of work put into getting this whole thing put together, right? To say a fall in less than a year, just doesn't sit right with me.
I don't wanna give them a deadline. We'll table it for this month. We can talk about it next month. We'll have the fire territory meeting. In between then, we'll have time to kind of talk with the other board members, see what they're doing. And then just make the case otherwise, but I don't wanna throw them under the bus.
Well, let me say this, just in the spirit of discussion. Then you're agreeing for Portage Township to cash flow 2 firefighter positions, because we would have to make immediate cuts to 2 firefighters. It's not such a bad thing for the board to communicate to the board of Warren Township and the fire territory board that this body is agreeing right now to pay more than their fair share while Warren Township figures it out. I'm just throwing that out for you to say, that's how I look at it. You're.
That's about
we do nothing right now.
140,000.
Well, it's about 200 grand. I mean, it's 2 firefighters that
Right.
we'd have to let go right now. Like,
That's why I think we
the
have.
union, I've kind of put them on notice that like, this is 2 firefighter positions.
Yeah, see, that's why I think we have to give them a deadline.
Well,
I'm not saying
I'm
next
not even,
week.
I just mean that would not be the worst thing to communicate from the board.
Yeah.
That, hey, look, here we are now,
Can we
paying
meet
for
with
you,
their
paying for
board?
your games.
Can Portage Township board meet with their board? Warren Township.
Yeah, you can come to the next territory meeting if you want, but we could schedule, do you want to schedule a joint meeting of just the Warren Township boards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
That's not the worst idea. Do you want to send that email?
Yeah, I can send that out.
but I still think we need to
Pick a
set a
date,
deadline.
5 o'clock any date, pretty much works for me.
I really want to give it a chance to talk to them first.
Ryan's
as
been
my-
kind of in the trenches on this, so
Yeah, like,
it's just all unnecessary.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
we'll talk to
unnecessary.
him, But
Let's-
after we talk to him, I think we need to have a deadline.
that's fine.
You know, we're paying out of our taxpayer people money, which eventually means we might have to cut some stuff
Right.
that we'd like to do. So
And-
I don't mind talking to him.
And one thing I will tell you, I want you to keep in mind, because sometimes some of the naysaying types are gonna say things like, well, we're paying for 75, they'll say Warren Township is paying for 75% of this fire territory. My response to that is, yes, you are, because you're receiving 75% of the services. That's just how this works.
Right.
It's based on assessed value, but folks are real quick to throw that out as if it's and it's like, no, exactly right. Why are we paying why are we paying because you don't want to? You know what I mean? Like, there's a serious unjust.
So
Well, the ambulance is out there, most of the firefighters are out there, like, yeah, that was the agreement. Yeah.
So do we agree on the fact that we'll meet with them? And after we meet with them, if it's still up in the air, if they're gonna pay or not, or they're not gonna pay, we give a deadline for an answer.
Jason, if we wanted to have, Alex there, just for a legal perspective on this.
He's the township's attorney. The territory does not have an attorney.
Okay, well, I mean, that
That would
would
be
be,
Pete Agostino, I guess. He drafted the.
So they have,
Yes.
but Warren Township has
They
an
would have their
attorney.
lawyer there, yeah. They could have.
Yeah.
their lawyer.
Yeah, Warren Township has an attorney, right?
but is that the attorney hired by the person who's trying to torch the agreement?
Well, could our two attorneys talk first?
I think they have. They have. We've been trying that route.
And is their attorney budging any?
Their attorney Pete.
No, it's Marcel Levin.
I don't know who.
Mm,
My estimation is he is part of the instigator of this, their attorney.
yeah,
That's been my sense.
Okay, we have a meeting with their board. And after we meet with them, we probably need to have an emergency meeting. And then we decide what we're gonna do
yeah.
then.
I mean, when you talk about dissolving, I mean, it's.
But I don't want this to drag on for months.
I mean, I don't either. I mean, because the thing is, yes, there was a lot of work went into it, and I hate to see it fall apart so fast. But if you're gonna cut losses, it's always better to cut losses in the beginning
Right,
than it is to
Yeah,
let
but
it
it's,
out.
I mean, you're right, but I'm with you, like, it's a devastating thing
Yeah,
to have to cut. I mean, like, it's just, timing could not be worse, because this is going, it breaks my heart, because it's one of the things I'm proudest of, because this is going so well.
Right.
I agree.
And it's the right direction, it's the right, from a government perspective, it's right by the people, like, this is a beautiful thing, it's just. Yeah, flabbergasts me. I guess I'm busier than others, so I can't make it.
Would you think you ain't gotta pay somebody?
Well, they're trying to make the argument that it needs to be based on bills and such, but that wasn't. Like,
So,
that's
yeah,
not what
imagine
the
a scenario
agreement
where Lana is having to send a fire, multiple bills to Warren Township for electric bills and hoses and fuel, and then she has to track to see if they paid those bills out of their money. It's ludicrous. And from an audit standpoint, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
said. Well, as this is
As the
like,
provider, we're the one being audited, not them.
well,
our
this is
budget
like
gets audited.
the child support argument, when send me the bill on what you spend it on, like. No, that's not how this works.
And I would also say the
You
fire
just look at the
territory
reports,
agreement, the
see
fire
what's been
territorial
paid.
agreement already stipulates that any purchases $5,000 or more are approved by the fire territory board.
Right.
So, and I pointed out to them that this body has not required its money be seen in this extra step. And so that's, for me, it's a very imbalanced.
Right, so I'll
Okay.
reach out to people and try to set up a meeting between our two boards. And include Alex as the attorney.
The trustees may be required to attend. That's a question for Alex.
I don't care.
Well, it's just like typically it might say that the trustee or his designee has to attend all board meetings.
Interesting.
But I don't know in this scenario, so I leave that to you because I don't need to be there. I mean,
Actually, I know you. I've been knowing you for a long time. If there's some controversy at the table, I kind of want you to be there.
I understand that. It's just,
No, not because I need to.
it's just,
But because I know.
this is
you know
a
how to-
collaboration and I think it needs to be treated as such.
Yeah,
is my
I agree.
point.
I agree.
Being the provider unit doesn't mean we call the shots.
Right.
And I don't think we approach this as we do.
Well, no, but
And I don't think we
mean-
have, my point is, I don't think we
Right,
have. Yeah.
No, my point is, again, board members dealing with the oversight perspective of what we're supposed to be doing
Agreed.
and trying to, because talking with some of them, like some of the other townships, like, you know, they don't do a lot of that. The
No.
trustees just kind of do what they want. And
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
Not great. So I'll reach out to people and see if we can set up time for everyone to meet.
Okay, we're happy to make this, place available.
So how much are we in the hole now that they didn't give us
Well, we're almost nearing 2 months.
34 grand. This month it'll be 34,000
Mhm.
total?
So
thus
far,
far.
Okay. So this thing has got to be resolved within the next 30 days.
I mean, I think we're probably gonna need to. I don't know. I think that's pushing it with from what I'm hearing from what's going on.
What?
Yeah, I agree. It's just also the $2.5 million loan sounds like a big number, but there's not much breathing room in that.
Right,
Like, we
right,
went as small as possible, so we had the smallest interest payment as possible. That's the other thing that's bothered, like, no, that seems, this other, they don't seem to not care. That, it's just a game, and it's just a game, and that's what's annoying to me.
So
Like,
Mohammed, how do you
Yeah.
feel? How much time should we give them?
Well, I think
Once we meet, how much time should we give them?
meet with them first,
We'll have to use
Yeah.
assistance money.
and then see, well,
mhm.
I mean, see where they are. I mean, like, what?
I think we just need to talk with them before.
I think
we-
Ryan's right.
I agree.
Like, because
I
if we
think we
start
should talk
throwing deadlines at them and that becomes much more aggressive and. I think we just need to meet with them and try to work it out first. And then if things don't go, then we start looking
Okay.
at what the next step is.
Okay. I'll go along, I disagree, but I'll go along with it.
Okay.
Well, you don't disagree with the meeting, right?
No,
You
I
just like
disagree.
To give them a deadline.
Right, because I don't want this to be, it takes them a month, it takes them 2 months to think about it. And we're steadily going up how much we have put out.
I'm bothered I didn't get a response back after their meeting. Like,
So I'll go along, and then after the meeting, we can discuss how much time they got to make up their minds.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right,
Okay,
well, I'll reach
like it.
out.
That's a plan. Thank you, Ryan, and all of you for that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Carl King update. Good news is, actually, Alex asked us to have you, take a vote on this. That we've been discussing with the owners for the last several weeks and they have agreed to all of our demands. And, they will agree to a 3-year compliance window. As usual, I forgave, them paying us back in lieu of them providing more restitution to the residents. They've
Mhm.
agreed to provide a 20% tax or a 20% tax credit, a 20% rent credit to all 219 residents of the building
Mm-hmm.
for going a month without heat. And I think those are favorable terms, in terms of providing some accountability, and we've established a relationship with them now, and they are very, this is under the oversight of the Attorney General, who also will codify this, alongside us, but, we have the agreement here that, we'd like the board to consider adopting, in terms of dropping our litigation against Carl King.
Roughly, how much did we have to pay Alex for the Carl King issue?
We haven't
I
made a
don't know.
bill,
I don't think we have to pay, you might know that when it
a
comes.
couple thousand,
Huh?
probably a couple thousand.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to know that when it's come.
Yep. Good question.
I'm hoping this Carl King mess will make other apartment complexes take notice.
I think that it's a small drops create a flood, right? I mean, it's obvious that what we got a property inspection program. We did this with Cedar Glen, and then they came back to Cedar Glen, and now we're doing Carl King. So yeah, I would like to think so as well. We would make this public tomorrow if the board adopted this, if the board agreed to this.
Okay.
Alright.
Is that the one that says voluntary compliance?
That's right.
Okay, I move that we accept voluntary compliance agreement that's with Carl King Holding LLC.
Hold on a moment. Provision of rent credit, they're gonna do 12,000. So 1 month's rent. It's $12,000 split between 220 people. Is that right?
Yes,
I mean, that's not very much, is it?
it's all subsidized housing, so folks are only paying couple $100 a month.
Oh, okay.
So agreed, to us, this doesn't sound like much, but to folks on a limited income,
How much would it be per person roughly?
$55.
probably
Okay.
55.
But
55 off
they're
the
only
cost
paying a
of-
couple $100 total,
Right.
I think, with this.
No, that's
upside,
fine.
Yeah, as usual, of course, it'd be nice if it was a bigger financial accountability, but given that this never happens,
Right, well, they're paying the, city 7,000, aren't they?
they've been fined.
Fine, 7,000.
Okay, well, I mean, it's been seconded, so all in favor?
I,
I guess.
Hey,
I
look,
feel like that's just low. With as bad as the press has been on this and pointing out the issues people are dealing with there, I just think that's such a low
well, they're doing better than Cedar Glen.
Unfortunately, the alternative is
rate.
months of litigation.
Right.
And yeah, it's a win for accountability. I think that's how we have to look at it. Wish you could be more. The residents will be appreciative. The ones that we've even talked to already were, they thought it was a great gesture.
And
And we really want to, I've told the owners, like, we'd be happy to help establish better trust between you and them. Like, help us be advocates for you. But I understand. Last two things, Goodwill Little Black Dress event. We were a sponsor last year. Do you want to be a sponsor again? We were a sponsor at the $2,500 level. They're again asking for us to be a sponsor at the $2,500 level. If you want to do this, I was going to suggest the $1,500 level. We still get a table. But reflects these, we want to be able to support good organizations, but
These lean times.
we have a lot, these are lean times. Yeah. Is that what you said?
Times, unfortunately.
But I'll leave it up to you guys. They have, a $20,000 level on a 10 and, 5. They've got 2,500 too.
I'm okay with 15.
I'll do 15 too, like I'm paying for it.
You are.
Well, it's out of the budget. Okay. You don't need,
Yeah, I agree with
What's-
that.
wait,
you don't need, I just want to get your
What's
opinion.
this date?
It will be the April 23rd. I'll get that to you.
Okay.
I'll get all that.
Now, all I can say is you get good bargains at the store.
Yeah, and either workforce development stuff and, yeah. Final thing here is, limited in our conversation in a public meeting, but happily to talk more offline or an executive session, but you don't really need to take action on this, but if you have an objection to it, I'd be happy to hear it. And just for transparency's sake, I'd like you to see that the two, staff positions that were cut purely due to budgetary reasons were offered severance. And we have the severance agreement here for you to take a look at. We offered them, not only did they get paid out their full vacation time that they had accumulated, but we also are providing them with 4 weeks of salary and benefits.
Okay. Think that's fair.
It's not really done at the government level, and so we thought it was something, it's better than nothing, but we wanted to make sure the board has eyes on that's something that we did. And
I think it's fair.
they're not here, but they are on the payroll for another 3 weeks for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair because they started looking for work the day after they got laid off, right? It's another week with waiting for interviews. And then, some places hold back. At least this way, there's a good chance if they get a job, they won't miss.
We also won't fight unemployment if they file unemployment.
Right.
Okay.
So are they gonna get, so do these checks just come regular or do they get one check?
No, it's a good question. They just remain on the payroll
Okay.
and they'll be paid along. That's an extra reason why I want you to see this is, that they will just be on when everybody else gets paid,
They
will
get paid.
That's right. So they don't get a lump sum check. That would probably raise even more eyebrows.
So is this,
This probably wouldn't even be caught in an audit, but we're going above and beyond to say,
Transparent.
yeah. This was drawn up by Alex and everything was done with obviously creditable.
I'm okay with it.
I just got two quick things.
Okay.
Okay, one is, I would like to make sure at the community dinner, we have something about what the township does.
More of our brochures and such. Yeah. we'll
Whatever.
better about that.
Cause a lot of people ask me what the township does, that one. And the second one is, I would like us to have a postcard made that basically says if you don't have heat, hot water, whatever, and, who they're to contact.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've gotten 3 or 4 calls.
Okay. Yeah.
And,
No problem.
not
Call
from
311.
tenants, but from
Contact
people.
Cheryl.
Well, really,
Yeah, right. Contact Cheryl, contact this phone number.
it's very important that people call 311 and file complaints because an inspection can't be done. Nothing legally can happen until they lodge an official complaint. And
Okay,
it's been very frustrating that they'll post on Facebook,
Yeah.
call the media, but they won't call, even after I tell them, they
right.
won't call.
Here's the other thing I'd like to do. It won't cost probably but $200. I'd like to then have those postcards here we have that we can give to people or send to people when they call in. And the second thing is I want to mail them to Cedar Glen. And
We can do that.
my contacts at Cedar Glen have all moved. And I've had 2 social worker type people call me about Cedar Glen.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
And my last one, I'm quick, is I want the township to sponsor what used to be similar to the agency breakfast, which would be maybe every 3 months or so over at the senior center in the morning. We have an agency come in and tell what they do and stuff like that.
Yeah, glad Connor's here, because that's one thing that Cheryl's been talking about this for a while, that I think is probably a great idea. So what she's describing is if we just had a breakfast, invite Real Services and Oaklawn, and everybody just comes in and has a little bit of a breakfast together, and we all kind
Right.
of sit around and bullshit about what's going on and what's happening. I think
Sure.
that'd be
And
really
then,
fun.
and then what I thought we could do is, you can bring your own food, or you
Real
can
Services
pay
for the food.
Real Services to do something.
I'll
So,
tell you about that.
who's
not happy with how much time.
would you mind, or I can do it, whichever is the easiest, find out what a very simple breakfast
Yeah.
from Real Services would be.
Yeah,
You know,
of
if it's nothing but, I don't know, biscuits and gravy or whatever.
I hear the firemen are looking for a new place to do the pancake breakfast.
Yeah. And I do have, if we do the first one we do, if it's St. Vincent, then the Knights of Columbus would do pancake breakfast.
Oh, yeah. It's a great idea.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a
Easy.
great idea, yeah.
Maybe we'll look at April, May.
Yeah, it falls
Okay.
in line with the rest of our like.
She said she'd get up early for it.
You know, if I say I'm getting up early for something. It must be
I mean, early's before noon.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So if it's okay with
She said a
everybody,
breakfast. I was like, don't you mean a lunch?
so if it's okay with everybody, I will go ahead and tell the Knights, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then talk to the people at, whatever the
All we
name.
need to do is pick a date and
Right,
invite
pick a day,
people and-
find out, and so I'll kind of,
you want the Knights of Columbus to do the first one? You want them to cook at the senior center?
yeah, they're willing to cook.
At the senior center?
Yeah. They said they have all the grills
For
and
free?
everything.
For free though?
Yeah, for free.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Speaking loud.
And they're probably, and they'll provide the food. They'll provide the
Already
food.
know.
Yeah, no, why not?
Wow.
It's an email then.
Cause he's going to go to the Knights. The guy I talked to is going to go to the Knights at their next meeting and ask them to do it as a community service.
Let's pick a Wednesday or a Thursday. Thursday, you say?
I don't know, whatever day.
Pick a Thursday.
Do you want to do these every 3 months? When do you envision them happening? How often? Like a.
I don't
quarter?
know. Let's do the first one and then figure out. Is
Okay. Yeah.
that okay with
Wednesday
you,
morning?
Brian?
Yeah.
Like a Wednesday morning?
Whatever. You guys just tell me what you want. And I'll talk to the people over at, the senior center.
This week tomorrow we'll nail down a date. There's a
Okay.
couple things that are on Wednesdays already, like that supporting South Bend group, but
Yeah, I was gonna
We'll
say.
just avoid
when
that.
happens on Wednesday.
yeah. No, I like it.
So that's it. So can we mail to the people at at,
Cedar Glen?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cause I can address them.
No, we'll do
I know
that.
how to get the address.
No, there's a machine can do that.
Okay,
We can send that to a mail house.
okay.
We just
Thank
need to
you.
design it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
And then I'll take a few of them to hand out to people, cause people are calling me.
Can you add that on like designing a postcard,
Yeah.
6x4?
No problem.
We may
And then we
consider
have
That's
it,
the fun part of my job.
yeah, then we
It's
can,
all
then,
fun.
I mean, seriously, we can just give them to people or we mail them to people when they call in and complain.
Yeah, I like it, yeah.
All right,
And down at the bottom, it says furnished by Portage Township
We'll
Trustee.
just have the logo on there, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll connect with Emily at, the city and what they want on there.
Thank you.
all right, sounds good.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, I think that's everything though for
Great
our agenda.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I second.
All right, so adjourned.
Hey.
Thank you.
Done for recording.